G'day folks, today we're installing some IBAC springs into this ND MX-5. So this is what we've got to start with, a mostly original 2-litre ND MX-5. I've got a set of IBAC springs from MX-5 parts of the UK. Interestingly, these are marked with IL Motorsport's logo. Let's get started. First up, we need to get the car on stands and the wheels off. With the car up in the air, you'll need to disconnect one of the sway bar end links to allow enough give in the suspension to get the shocks out. Here's a shot of the front suspension setup on the ND. To get started, we need to unbolt the top of the shock from the shock tower. Then, unbolt the upper A-arm from the car. There's two 17mm bolts here. And now, the lower shock bolt. To allow the upper A-arm to move sufficiently, we need to unbolt the ABS wire from the arm. And out comes the front shock. Now onto the rear, and again you'll need to disconnect one of the sway bar end links to allow enough give in the suspension to get the shocks out. Up in the boot, or trunk, you'll need to remove these annoying little plastic clips to get the carpets out of the way. Then, that will give you access to the upper bolts for the shocks. You may choose to remove this steel plate, however it's not too difficult to work around it. On the other side of the car, you do need to work around the fuel filler hose. Then, down under the car again, we need to remove the lower shock bolt. And out comes the rear shock. With the shocks out, it's time for us to swap our springs. If you're swapping in some coilovers, you can get straight to installing them. Here's everything from a stock shock disassembled. This in particular is a front shock, but the rear is much the same. To reassemble everything, first the spring goes in. Then we add the bump stop and its metal cap. The bump stop needs to pop inside the cap. Then we add the lower bushing with the metal collar. The dust boot goes on next. then the strut top. Then the upper bushing and the large washer. Now, installation is the reverse of removal. So let's get the shocks back in the car. And a short time later, we end up with this. A satisfying result. The car sits nice, but is still practical. Body roll has decreased, but thankfully, comfort hasn't been compromised. Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.